All right, so we are on triple A out of our packet now. We're working on some FRQs here. So I've got a polar curve defined here by my R. I've got a limited domain. They're giving me the derivative. And the graph is of R. So if I'm going to find the area, so right away I am thinking I'm starting at some A to B of my 1/2 R squared d theta. They want me to find the inner loop, so I want to figure out this small section, and this is a number 2, so this is a calculator allowed. So I'm going to type it, and I'm going to use the trace feature to figure out my upper and lower bounds. And when I do that, I'm going to have between 0 and pi halves, and they're giving me my R. So for simplicity's sake, I can just say R. To avoid making it look generic, I'm going to say R of theta. And then to avoid putting the square in the incorrect place, I'm going to put an extra bracket. All right, so then I can type it in the calculator and then write down my answer. All right, so I was able to type it in, and I've got my answer, so I'm going to go on to the next slide here to do part B. So now we're looking for the greatest distance from any point on the graph of R to the origin. So greatest distance, so right away I'm thinking maximum. All right, so I want to consider my equation again, and I think I want to write it down on this page so I have it with me. R prime was also provided, so I think I want to write that down as well. I think it was written as cosine was first, so let me do cosine theta minus theta sine theta. So that's the way it was provided on the other page. So if we're looking for the maximum, right, that's where we want to take our derivative, find our critical points, check our endpoints since we do have a closed interval, and determine the maximum from there. All right, so I graphed the derivative, but I wanted to graph it in the function mode, not the polar mode, so that I can find my zeros a lot easier. So then my graph looks like this here, so, right? So I've got my x-axis, my y-axis. So I'm looking for my zeros, and I'm going to find my zeros. And of course, this is when our derivative is equal to 0. So then theta will equal, I'm looking at 2 values. All right, so I've gone through some calculations, right? Like I said, I was in the calculator and I found my zeros, I found my 2 points. Then I put my information on my number line considering my endpoints here. And this is representative of my R prime. And I found my positives and negatives because of the graph. It just made it a lot easier to use the graph since I already had it. So now they want the greatest distance. Okay, so I guess the greatest distance could be a minimum, right? Because there's just going to be a separation of the two. So if I want to go from the origin, now I got to make that next calculation. So in the end, then what is that? What is that y value, or what is that distance going to be? Or what is that r? I guess technically it's an r, right? What is that r value going to be at these points? So then I'm really looking at what is r of 0, what is r of the 0.86 number, what is r at the 3.4 number. Oops, sorry about that, I didn't do a parentheses. All right, so I paused the video and I went and I found the radial distance then at each of our points here. So at my endpoint at 0, my radial distance is 0. My endpoint at the 0.8 value that we found is a 0.5 value. The next one that we had a 3.425 is a negative 3.28837. And my radial value at 3 pi halves is also a 0. So if they want the greatest distance, it doesn't matter if it's going uphill or going downhill. That part doesn't matter. That's why it says greatest distance. So at first we said max, and then we thought min after we started doing the chart here. So the greatest distance would be the absolute value. So it's going to be this 3.28837. And since it is a distance, I label it as a positive. There's no reason you're not going to have a negative distance. So I summarized my greatest distance is at the according theta and my r at that distance, and I put r in distance to make sure that I answered their question. All right, now looking at part C, there is a point on the curve at which the slope of the line tangent to the curve is 2 over 2 minus pi. At this point, they're giving me the dy d theta. They want me to find the dx d theta. So I'm thinking that if I'm going to do slope at a point, I'm starting with my dy dx. That has to be equivalent to my dy d theta over dx d theta. So if they're telling me the slope at that line, so that is my dy dx, then I've got 2 over 2 minus pi has to be equal to my 1/2 over my dx d theta, since that's what they're asking me to solve for. So then if we cross multiply and solve here, then I would have dx d theta, right, multiplied by 2 is equal to 1/2 2 minus pi. So then dx d theta is equal to 1/4 2 minus pi. All right, that is the last portion of this packet, and we'll see you on the next one.